Hello and welcome to Let's Get Growing. It's Jo Swann here, the horticultural manager from Bulwell Forest Garden in Nottingham. And here we are, it's the spring equinox. So spring equinox is the time of year when everything's in balance. So the light and the dark, so the days are getting longer, it's warming up, it's the flowering currents out, the birds are singing, it's all happening and it's very exciting. So let's get busy, let's get cracking, let's get growing. So let's move on to this week's pack. So this week you've got a little flat leaf parsley plant, you've got some carrot seeds and a little pot of snowdrops. So we're going to start with the easy one, the flat leaf parsley. So I can tell just by looking at this that it needs to go into a new pot, but we'll just check. So how we do that is we tip it. Yeah, its roots have filled the pot. And they get quite extensive root systems, the flat leaf parsley. And it is pretty hardy plant, so you shouldn't need to protect this. So I'm going to fill my pot up about half full, put my plant in the middle, and then put my compost in around it. Compost is a bit dry, but it'll be okay. It's peat-free compost we're using. And then we press it down. And it should respond very well to that. I'll put the label back in and then I'll give it a water with a fine rose. And then next I'm going to move on to the carrot seeds. So this is a variety called Chantenay Red Cord 2. There's lots of different varieties of carrots, but these ones are good because you can eat them young. So the idea, what I'm going to do is grow them in a pot. So, and pull them when they're baby carrots. So I've got quite a deepish pot because they've obviously got deep roots. I've filled it with some quite rough homemade compost. But what I'm going to do is put some of the peat-free compost onto the top of it to about there. And then you should have a sprinkling of seeds. So with these, I'm going to put them, I'm right-handed, I'll put them into my left palm. And then I use the finger and thumb of my right hand. Ooh, big wiggly worm there. Don't like light, he'll try and get down. And then I'm just going to scatter them quite thinly. Oh, there's loads of worm activity going on in here. Good for the soil. Scatter them quite thinly, and I will have to probably thin these out, but not at the moment. So I've scattered them on the surface, then I'm going to put a fine, because they're only small seeds, so I'm not going to put a very deep layer, just going to lightly cover them. And then I'm going to press them down, put a label in and water them with a fine rose. And they'll be okay outside, quite hardy carrots. And then finally, you've got a lovely little tub of snowdrops, and obviously these are for flowering next year. So they've done their stuff. This is called dividing them in the green. So that was their flowers and that's their little seed heads. And so you've got a pot of these. So what we're going to do is go and have a root around in the woods, and I'm going to show you how to divide snowdrops. So here I am in our woodland in a small area of conservation area that we like to keep undisturbed as much as possible for wildlife. So this area is where we have a lot of snowdrops growing, and each year we like to divide the snowdrops and replant to try and create a carpet throughout the area. So first of all, what I'm going to show you what you could do with your snowdrops, you could either just leave them in this pot until next year and they will re-emerge. It's important not to cut the leaves off because the leaves need to die back and then the energy goes back into the bulb. So if you did want to plant them into the ground, what you would need to do is to dig a hole. So this one's about a spade's depth. So what I'm aiming to do, this bit with white here was underground previously. So it's kind of blanched. So I want to get them quite deep. That's plenty deep enough. So I'll put my bulbs, I'll leave them in this big clump I'm not going to divide them. Put them in and then sort of heel them in and then give them a water. So with the other clumps, what we did to divide them was you look for a nice big clump. So there's one here. It's not massive, but a lot of these have already been divided, so I can dig them up. Make sure you get all the bulbs because they won't grow unless you get the bulbs. Split them in half. I'm going to put the original clump back, heel it in, give it a water, and then I'm going to create a new clump here where there's a gap. Nice and deep. We've got nice sandy soil here. Easy to dig. That's back in. Nice and deep. And then give them a good water in. That's it, dead easy. And that's how you can create lots and lots of new snowdrops for free. So here we are in the medicinal garden, and this is our hedgerow, and you can see a lovely sign of spring. So here's the catkins on the hazel tree. Isn't that lovely? So thanks very much for watching, and enjoy the spring equinox and enjoy searching out those early signs of spring which are all around us.